Right, this is the spiced winter ale. It's a complete experiment. Never done one before, but this is what I'm going to be trying out. First we've got, that's the yeast starter, but I'm going to split it because I want to do another batch later on in the week of just standard run-of-the-mill everyday beer. And then I've got a cheap Geordie Bitter kit from Leyland Homebrew. Cheapest beer kit that they do. I'm only going to brew it to half length, so it's only going to be 20 pints rather than 40 pints, so I don't need to add any sugar. We've got root ginger, handful of chilies off the chili plant. We've got cloves, not sure how many yet. It's actually powdered, so it's going to be teaspoons, obviously. Nutmeg, again not sure, I'll make it up as I go along. Ground cinnamon and star anise. I'll probably only throw about 2 or 3 star anise in because they're very strong flavoured, and you don't want to overpower it with everything. We've got the fermentation bucket, obviously. And then, so I'll need to chop up peel and chop the root ginger, chop up the chilies, decide what I'm going to do about the other spices, and back to you shortly after I've got all the spices prepared. That is the main shot of the ingredients, though. Right, we're back. Prepared the ginger. I did start trying to grate it, which turned out to be a complete pain in the neck, so I ended up chopping it as I was originally going to plan. There's 16 chilies in there, chopped, and you can just about see them. I've opted for 2 of the star anise, 2.5 teaspoons of the cloves, 3 teaspoons of the cinnamon, and because it's a bit earthy, only 1 teaspoon of the nutmeg. That may actually be a waste of time because it might not be enough to actually taste it anyway, but hey ho. What I also did while off camera, which I didn't think you needed to see, was put the beer kit into the hottest water from the hot water tap. I think everyone knows how to do that. Right, so we'll start with the splitting of the starter. Now, I only took this off the yeast bed yesterday, and you can see it's settled down, so there's a good centimetre and a half, something like that, of yeast at the bottom. It is still bubbling, but we've got 20 grams of sugar dissolved in boiling water in each of these, which should have cooled by now, but I'm going to give it a bit more water, cold water straight from the tap, just to ensure that it's down to a reasonable temperature. So we'll probably have about that much in each, so it's about 400 mils roughly. Doesn't need to be rocket science. And just shake up the yeast so it's all mixed in. And then we're going to put roughly half in each one. We had some lumps in that one, so we'll put the rest in there. There is some in the bottom, doesn't really matter. Rinse that out, give it a double rinse. or it's fine if you rinse everything straight away, clean straight away. If you have it under an airlock, it will keep for weeks without needing to be sterilised again. So, what we're going to do here is put the yeast starters to one side. Don't need them for a while. I know where the tin hot dog is. Tin hot dog, I've been using that earlier. Now that water was pretty damn hot. Let's remove just the top layer, it doesn't need to be all of it gone. And we've got a full kettle full of water, bar a little bit for the yeast starters. Right, that's the malt going into the fermenting bucket. Just let as much malt drain out as possible. Trying to get as little on the outside of the lid as possible. If you notice, I didn't go all the way through and let the lid drop in, and there's a reason for that. Planning ahead. And just spin it a couple of times like that. Get the malt on the inside of the can. And then, excuse my arm, holding the tin at a slight angle, pour the boiling water directly onto the lid. This is how I do it. Washes the malt off the lid, and then put the can on the side. Fill it almost to the top with boiling water. Well, near boiling water, it's obviously not boiling anymore. And then I use a spoon with holes in, it just makes it slightly easier, I find. And you just wash all of the malt from the inside of the can and chuck some down the outside there like that. Don't really chuck some down the outside, that's just some accident. And then, don't forget to use at least double, if not triple, folded cloth. Pour the contents of the can, a bit of a drip on there. Lock off into the fermentation bucket, leaving the can that's pretty much spotlessly clean on the inside. Add the rest of the water. Now, this is where things are going to go. Maybe not to plan, because this is completely experimental territory. Apart from this is just mixing the malt with the hot water. That's easy enough. Now I'm suspecting two thoughts on this. Stick the ginger and all the other spices in now, so they've got a bit of a refresh in the hot water, but that might be a bit of a pain when it comes to checking the original gravity. Sorry, chuck them in now, that's what I say. So everything's just going in. Does smell quite good. Smells very Christmassy already. And then we're just whacking in the cold water. Then we'll top it up to approximately 20 pints, because it's a 40 pint beer kit, but I'm only going to brew it to half length, so then I don't need to use any sugar. Tipping the water in from as high as possible to aerate it. So I'll put 5 jugs worth of water in and then check where we're at. Actually no, I'll probably put 3 in. And we'll give it an aeration. So we'll just aerate it a little bit with the spoon, just get oxygen into the water for the yeast to set off. If you don't oxygenate the wort well enough, I'm sure you know, the fermentation can be a little bit slow and started, because the yeast has to go straight into anaerobic respiration, which basically means it's creating the alcohol straight away and not dividing itself. So, well, not dividing as much, whereas if you've got plenty of oxygen in, it will divide, multiply until all the oxygen is used up, and then it will go into anaerobic respiration and start producing your alcohol. Right, so that was 3. We'll only do about 2 minutes but stirring, but there's normally more liquid and you can get a proper froth on. So I'm going to check the levels. Now, we've only got it in litres, so 10, about 11 and a half, 12, yeah, 11, 12, we'll go for 12 litres. We'll go for 12 litres. Right, we've got 11 litres there, so we need another litre, approximately. Absolutely no idea how this is going to turn out, which is why I'm only doing 20 pints rather than a full 40 pint kit. I didn't want to spend the money on a 40 pint kit of beer and then have to drink or chuck away, even worse, 40 pints that are not drinkable, shall we call it. Right, let's just check that the temperature's fit to pitch at. Because obviously 3 pints of boiling water in 20 pints is going to mean it's going to be a lot more, a lot warmer than 3 pints of boiling water within 40 pints. That's not too bad, it's 20 degrees. We'll just have another check, just make sure, leave it a little bit longer. Normally at this time of year a 40 pint kit will be coming in at about 17 degrees, so the water outside is colder than usual. So yeah, about 20 degrees that'll do. Pitch at that. Don't want to pitch much warmer than 20 degrees. In summer sometimes I have to, but I don't have a fermentation fridge. Just give the yeast a bit of an aeration as well before it goes in. There it goes. Looks like beef broth with floaty bits. Not going to try it now, but I will do. Yeah, all the floaty bits have come in. This could make checking the specific gravity a bit difficult. I'll try that again and try and get less floaty bits in there. So, for starters, I'll try and sieve it. Not really working. Up against the side of the fermentation bucket. And go for a gentle pour. Also not working. Sod it. Floaty bits and all. Right. So let's have a quick look. I'm thinking we should be around 1044 approximately. Floaty bits in the way. Try and get the crud off the side of the test jar. And I would say that's very, very close to 1044 as I thought it would be. The temperature, as I said, of 20 degrees. So there it is. That is the start of the spiced winter ale. No idea how it's going to turn out, but it's an experiment. We'll see we'll see if it's palatable in a week. Probably going to bottle it all, so I'm going to have to, when it's finished fermenting, I'm going to have to strain it off into another fermentation bucket, and then so that will get all the floaty bits out, because I'm sure that all the floaty bits won't actually disappear. They might do, the yeast might eat them, you never know. Well, I don't, you might. So we'll have an update in a week. Thanks for watching. Thumb up the video if you like it. Nearly forgot, put the lid on. down all round. Add the fermentation bung. Not a big fan of these fermentation lots because although they're very compact, you can't put, that's way too much water in there. You can't put very much water in at all because that's probably too much, because if you get it sucking back, it'll suck the water in rather than just air. That's probably it. So there's about, what, 5 mil in the bottom of the fermentation trap, and I don't put the lid on too strongly because otherwise it can sometimes, if it suddenly starts fermenting very quickly and your lid's on, it can suddenly force it out and you've got no fermentation trap at all. So they're a bit rubbish, but I have got a space constraint. A bit low on space for that one. Right, if you again, if you like the video and want to see more, please thumb it up, and if you've got any comments, any at all, put them down in the comments section, and I'll try and get back to you. Cheers. Oh, and happy homebrew. Cheers. Update you in a week.